Okay, back to scatter diagrams. This one is showing the score for students in the class taking a speaking test in French and a written test in French. Each test is marked out of 60, and we're asked in which test did the class perform better. Well, look at the speaking test results. Okay, these vary from 0 to 60, with marks as low over here as sort of 6 or 7, and as high as nearly 60. If we look at the score in the written test over here, the lowest score I'm seeing is 10, and there's actually someone who's achieved the maximum score in that test. So we have to look either straight up for the speaking test results or straight across for the written test results, and I think because there are higher scores overall in the written test, that the written test is better, and we'd write something like that. So written, there's a higher range of scores, or you could say something like the lowest score for the written test is higher than the lowest score for the speaking test, and the highest score for the written test is higher than the highest score for the speaking test as well. So something along those lines. What type of correlation is shown? Once again, it's a positive correlation. It's not the strongest one we've seen on this worksheet, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a moderately strong. A moderate positive correlation. One student is much better at speaking French than writing French. So what I want here is someone whose speaking score is quite high and their written score is quite low. And that looks very much like this student over here. They've done pretty well in the speaking test, but their writing score is really low. In fact, it's the lowest of the written test scores. One student scored 39 in the speaking test, but was absent for the written test. We want to estimate what score he might have got. So, in order to do this, we're going to use the line of best fit. We're going to look for 39 down here in the speaking test, go up to our line of best fit, and see what score that would point to in the written test. This is an estimate because we don't actually have that information, but that's the point of having a line of best fit, is to be able to make estimates and predictions. So there's me going up from 39, and now we're going across. You would use a ruler, of course, over here. So that looks like a score of 42, and that will be the answer to that question. Okay, so there we go. Juan asks 40 people which language they speak at home, and this table shows the results. We want to first of all complete the table and then complete the pie chart. So once again, treating this as like an exchange rates question, I want to find an exchange rate, something that compares frequency to angle. And my frequency to angle conversion over here is a frequency of 18 is the same thing as an angle of 162 degrees. So there's my frequency number and there's my angle number. So to turn a frequency of 11 into an angle, I've got to divide by my frequency number to get out of frequency land and times by 162 to get into angle land. And we're going to do that now. 11 divided by 18 times 162 gets me an angle of 99 degrees. And now I'm going to keep on going. A frequency of 7 divided by the 18 gets me out of angle land, times by 162, dividing by 18 gets me out of frequency land, and timesing by 162 gets me into angle land. So if I do that on my calculator, we're getting 63 degrees. And I could do the same thing for the last one, or I could add all these up and take them away from 360. After all, that's what it has to add up to. Just for the practice doing the conversion, I'll do the conversion one more time. So I want to get rid of out of frequency land and into angle land. I have to divide by my frequency number and times by my angle number. So 4 divided by 18 times 162 is 36 degrees. Okay, so let's just double check that all these angles add up to 360. I've got 162, 99, 63, and 36. That's adding up to 360, so I know I'm okay. So to complete the pie chart, you would then use your protractor. Starting from this line over here, we'd measure out a 99-degree angle, which I'm going to say is over here, let's say. And then a 63 angle and a 36 angle, I'm going to mark those like this. Do use your protractor, of course. And you would label them French, Spanish, and other. Mansour also asked some people which language they speak at home, and in his pie chart, the sector angle for Portuguese is 108 degrees. And I want to write down the fraction of people who do not speak Portuguese at home. Well, if 108 degrees represents the people who speak Portuguese, I need to take that from 360 if I want to find the number of people who don't, or at least the angle that represents them. That's 252 degrees. The fraction we're looking for, well, that 252 is being taken out of a circle with 360 degrees in it. If I type that into my calculator, that fraction will be expressed in its lowest terms, which is 7/10. And there's the answer to that question, and that concludes the scatter diagrams and pie charts solutions.